Yeah, with this day 5. Yeah, day 5. We last day in San Pedro. Get on the ferry in a little bit. Go back to the mainland. What they call the mainland is Belize City. So yeah, and my man Chris gonna come pick us up, take us to the Grand Resort over there where we staying at, and find something to get into on the mainland. Day 5, Belize. Alright, you wanna check out this, what is it, croissant place?
Yeah,
French croissant place? Hey, good morning. We got our man Carol taking care of us today, you know what I'm saying? He'll be with us today and tomorrow. Y'all need some
got a
services.
nice few days. We got a nice few days.
Yeah, nice few days, yeah. Alright, y'all, we getting ready. We're in the city now, so we about to do this Belize City tour too. Alright.
Right? So it's kind of like different in different areas what attracted them.
Yeah.
Here is just a mahogany wood, right? And different tropical hardwoods that they use for dyes.
Okay.
So way back all of these was the port, the cargo ports, where these are customs storage facilities. Now they're just a tourism village, right?
Oh, okay.
In 1997, the cruise ships start coming into Belize, and as far as overnight guests go, right?
Yeah.
Last year we reached record high numbers, like over 500,000 people visited Belize as overnight guests, right? They're trying to tap into the cruise tourism potential because the government feels that more people will come off the ships if you could dock on solid ground and just walk off the ship. Right?
Yeah.
And also, one have started the tourism management project.
Okay.
And that project is was to push more tourism potential in the country, right? And back then, people used to visit the country or the area just for touring the lagoon out here, right?
Okay.
All of this water out here.
Yeah.
And that's just fishing, sailing, snorkeling, diving, because we do have the hotel right over there doing construction.
Alright.
Belize First Luxury Hotel.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's an organization, the CDC, Colonial Development Corporation, that originally was responsible for helping British colonies to advance in agriculture.
Okay.
Right? And eventually they started to assist in the march to self-government, things like that. And when they devalued the currency from this area, right, and there was a group that started the idea for self-government, right? And that same group, they're not the government today, right? The People's United Party. Right? So that's why you see the flag, the royal blue color. But back to the story about the CDC, right? That hotel, Belize First Luxury Hotel, was a gift of good faith that they'll never devalue the money in Belize again, in this area again. And they donated that with 36 rooms originally, right? So that tower right there, that's known as Belize First Skyscraper.
Okay. Oh, it's the first skyscraper?
Right?
Okay.
But this entire area being a fort, an actual military fort, right? It's a kind of swampy area, right? So all of this seawall right here was all a dredging project that they dredged silt and sand from the lagoon out here. And they building a wall right here, right? But where that hotel is was where the actual military garrison was, right?
Okay.
So that's historical for training, like the Belize Coast Guard, the Fisheries Department, diving, swimming. So this building right here, this blue one,
the blue one
in front of us, right? This is was an ex-British estate company, right? British estate company was the largest landowners in the country, right? They were the ones that exported the logwood out of Belize. So the hotel, everything is linked together, being like housing places for businessmen that used to do business with the British estate company. Right, British businessmen. So right now this is the whiskey bar. It's owned by the Belkin company, Belize Brewing Company that make the beer. Right. So fun fact about the Belikin, right?
Belikin,
right?
okay.
That's actually where they derive the name Belize, right?
Yeah.
In Mayan terms, right? As a Maya word, it means road to the sun.
Road to the sun,
right?
okay.
So Mayans are the indigenous people to this area, right? And one of the reasons why they entered this area was they access the sea through the Belize River, right?
Okay.
So when we go to the Maya temple tomorrow, we're going more into the core of the Mayan settlements.
Okay, cool,
And
cool.
Mayans are still 10% of our population today.
Oh, still 10%?
Right?
Okay,
And
cool.
so Chris is Mayan. Right?
Okay, Chris is
full
Mayan?
Chris is
Okay.
full Mayan, right? Chris is
Okay,
from a
okay.
village in southern Belize.
Okay,
right?
cool, cool.
He still speaks the language,
Yeah.
right? So those languages, they blend into our cultural things, right? So our cultural identities, right?
Yeah.
So they blend a lot of things in. The main idea, besides the fact that they fought against the devaluation of the money, was to stop dividing our people, right? And to stop saying the Mayans and the Africans and the blacks and the Caribs and Spanish and just say the Belizean people, you know? So all of those ideas, right, is still today that we kind of just bring everything together in a one melting pot, right, that we call Belize. So the country is still, yes sir? The country is still very diverse, right? So one of the reasons we're here, the lighthouse, right? This is one of the attractions in Belize City. The greatest benefactor to Belize, right? In 1923, he donated about $2 million Belize to the colony here, right? And if you notice, there's a building behind us when we go back to the vehicle. The Belize Institute of Performing Arts. That fund, according to research in 2008, was still worth $1.5 million Belize, right? And he was a British sailor that came here and he never set foot on the mainland. But because he met so many Belizeans and he liked the people, he redid his will to leave all of that money to the people of Belize, you know, to advance them. So it was set rules to it, right? One of the rules, you have to build a tomb confined, right, next to a lighthouse, and put aside £100 sterling to have a regatta for him, right, or a celebration every year. So on March 9th, we have the Baron Bliss Day, right? So Henry Edward Ernest Victor Bliss, Belize's greatest benefactor, right? It was a settlement called Holsus, right? A Maya settlement. Most of the cities, like the one that we're going tomorrow or any Maya temple, the Mayans, they abandon those places to come closer to water sources, or they just leave the areas to go away from the political leaders that they had at the city, right?
Oh, you say lead areas because of political leaders?
Yeah, so some of the cities were abandoned because they revolt against the leaders of the city, right? And then some of them, they abandoned the cities because most of them are designed on elevated areas where there's not natural water flow and no water sources. Right? And one of our local archaeologists explained that during the time that they call the abandonment period, the terminal classic period, they experienced long periods of drought. And so a lot of them, they abandoned the cities to go back to British colonial buildings, wooden, they still stand today. Right? Hurricanes is one of the main things that we worry about. Right? The 1961 hurricane is one of the reasons why Belize City is the old capital, right? That's what I was getting at. So, Hurricane Hattie. Category 5 in 1961, similar to what Jamaica experienced, right? But our land is set up a little bit different, right? So it kind of devastated the entire city, and they had to move survivors up to higher ground. So the Creole population that you find in Belize district area, right? And Creole, by definition in Belize, right, is any person of African descent who is not Garifuna, right? If you talk about New Orleans and certain southern US areas, you have Creoles there, right, which is mixtures of European and African descent people, right? But here it's just, it's a way that the British separated, right, or they differentiated the Africans that were born in the old world that they brought to the Africans that were born here, right, the New World Africans. So, and then eventually, as times became more modern around the 1920s, right, they started to refer to the people as Creole just to stop calling them the blacks, the Caribs, you know, like what the idea of independence still, right? That whole idea, stop calling people or stop segregating people, right? So they have a title to call them. Instead of the Africans.
So what do they call them now?
Creole.
Creole. So everyone's Creole.
Everyone who is not Garifuna, right? Garifuna is the next main ethnic group, right? That dominate Belize, right? They're about 6% of the population. And those rural West African descents, right? But those were people who settled originally in the Caribbean. They were known as Black Caribs around the areas like St. Vincent, the Grenadines.
That pre-slavery?
Sorry?
Pre-slavery that blacks that lived here.
No, they were after slavery. They came afterwards. Right? Slavery ended in 1838. Okay. 1838. The Garifuna that I'm explaining about, right? They settled in Belize in 1802. So it's after slavery.
Okay.
Right? In the British Palace, right, is wood from Belize. So we're passing the Halover Creek right here. The oldest bridge in Belize, the swing bridge. Okay. Right? This was transported from Scotland, and it used to manually turn, right? You need 6 men to turn it, at least 4 men to turn it. It used to turn 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening, right? Dusk and dawn, to allow the sailboats to come in to safe harbor. They've advised not to turn it anymore because the gears are corroded now, right? So there is a Japanese organization that is helping with the funding towards the replacement of the bridge. Right? Belize have bilateral relationships with Japan since for the past 10 years. Right? Taiwan as well, we have big Asian populations in the country, right? Asian and East Indian, right? If you notice, all of this area is downtown. The Bank of Belize, or the Belize Bank to our left, was originally the Royal Canadian Bank, right?
I want to get this picture.
In the Bank of British Honduras. Sorry?
I was going to get that picture real quick of that.
Oh, the Belize.
During the Bank of British Honduras in 1911, and a local group bought it over around 1990, right? All of these areas are some shopping centers. A lot of our East Indian population, right? They would own mostly clothing and cosmetic stores, business area, right? Telecom, banks. You find a lot of older buildings here that's still historical, right? That they haven't moved as yet. Their weights to weigh down ships when they sail to Europe with logs and they come back empty, right? So you have to weigh down ships, and what they do with those bricks afterwards, they use them to build churches, right? So that church built by slaves, and the interior of the building is lined with sapodilla wood and also mahogany wood, right? So that's the 2 treasure woods that was the main portion of slavery in the country, right? The sapodilla wood is a hardwood, and of course mahogany was the West African slaves that they brought in from Jamaica, right, to work those camps. Thousands of African slaves in the mid-1700s. This burial ground right here also connected to the church, right? Most of the people connected to the Anglican diocese. That's outside Belize City, right? These are the areas that people say, don't go in that area because it's dangerous.
Oh, this is side right here.
This is the south side of the area.
South side Belize.
Yeah, correct. Correct. But dangerous, a lot of those things are relative, right? You don't want to be a target to anybody, right? But worldwide, everywhere has their own areas that you have poorer communities that you find a little more violence, right? Yeah. I went to that college. What's the college?
Oh, okay.
That's a high school, right?
It's a Methodist high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I noticed that a lot of countries, I say overseas, that were under British rule, they use that word college versus high school. I think it's a British thing. Right?
Yeah, you know, I've always questioned drainage. Very important, right? These canals, they have pumps. Okay. Pump the water out when it floods too much in the city. All of these are just like residential areas, showing you how people live. Basically, right? Yeah. The area that we were driving through, where the burial ground is, a lot of the Africans that arrived in Belize, they traced them back to the Igbo tribe of Africa, right? So Igbo Africans.
Igbo.
Yeah, correct. So that entire area was known as Igbo Town.
Igbo tongue. Okay.
Igbo tongue.
We're
Igbo tongue.
Ghanaians. Igbos are Ghanaians.
Igbo, correct, the Igbo Africa, Igbo tongue, right? So it's just evidence of the settlement from the slaves that once they were freed, they started to settle in those areas, right?
Oh, okay.
That was what sparked slave emancipation in the 1830s, and eventually Belize became an official British colony in 1862. We were called British Honduras because the Bay of Honduras, right, to differentiate it when the British, they won basically the rights to the area, right, they call it British Honduras, right?
Okay.
And so we were called British Honduras until 1973, when we were supposed to get independence, but threats of invasion from Guatemala delayed independence, right, until 1981. So in September, they caused a lot of accidents though, right?
So Belize is just mainly more residential.
Yeah, it's a lot of residential areas, right? Especially the south side, right? We're on the south side right now. When we go back over the north side, right, where we first met, then it gets more businesses, you find hotels, restaurants, things like that. But the south side is mainly residential.
Okay.
So it's kind of like when people say don't go to the south side, it's just the downtown, and then besides that, there's nothing really historical over there, right? So the national dish of Belize is rice and beans, stew chicken, potato salad, right? Coconut rice and beans. So
Coconut rice and beans.
Coconut milk is added.
Right.
As far as culture foods, it's more of foods that are stews, right? That you add coconut milk, you add seafood like fish to it, right? And different ground foods, right? So sere and hudut, right? In the case of garifuna, boil up. Our fast foods, right, would be more Mexican style foods with corn base, right? Because of the Mayan ethnic, the Mayan heritage that they all have, right? So a lot of items with corn, with beans. So like panades, garnaches, tamales, those type of things are type of foods that you find, right? So now our chicken, what we have our own spices. We use allspice and different things that they use in the Caribbean. But instead of jerk, what we mainly use is a paste from the anato tree. That's called recado paste, right?
Recado
so
paste,
it's not spicy. You add habanero peppers to the food to make it spicy. So the anato, the recado paste, along with habanero peppers, is our spices, like similar to jerk that we'll make, right?
Okay.
But if you want jerk chicken, we could find jerk chicken, right?
Yeah.
The time of day depends on if you get it or not. Because food mostly sold out, right? Unless it's not good. The good one's sold out, you know? Right?
So this Central American Boulevard, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Civic Center, right? Our sports arena. FIBA regulations for basketball. Also, volleyball is played here, right? It's a $16.5 million project. It holds about 5,000 people for events, 4,000 for games. The Belize Water Services on the left, right? Original a Canadian company. Also the Belcan Bridge, Belize, Canada, right? Right, was a donation by a Canadian group. Built in the early 1960s. Whenever we cross the bridge, we get back into the north side, right?
Every time you cross the bridge.
It's now businesses. And more, so it's not residential. It's still residential, right? But you find more middle class or a little bit people that are better off, right? Ramada Hotel. There's two casinos right across the street from each other, right? The Tropicana Casino. Right across the street.
What's up with the rapper that was born from here? But
Shine?
Yeah, what's up with Shine?
So Shine's dad is the last prime minister. Right? But Shine's outside child for his dad, right? So Shine, just historically, in the past, he never really spoke highly of Belize, right? He's been very vocal now in supporting the country and taking it for himself and being an ambassador to the country, going on the Breakfast Club and all of those different platforms, right, and selling the country. So he does a very good job right now. But the fact is that the people don't support him.
Yeah, that's what the girl at the airport was saying too.
Yeah,
she said the people don't like him.
His peers don't support him. So when he first came back and he was deported after the incident with P. Diddy and Jennifer Lopez, right? His dad was the prime minister, and so according to my knowledge, right? I don't really follow politics as much, right? But he became the ambassador to music. And then he left the country for a short while and he followed, I don't know if it's Islam or...
Yeah.
I'm speaking, but I'm not 100, I'm not direct sure with the details, right? Yeah. So excuse me if I make mistakes in any details, but he was endorsed to be a representative for one of the constituencies, and eventually he became the leader of the opposition party, right? But he had a mutiny within the party, and so it was divided right around election time, and he lost very bad, right? So at that time, he a lot of people feel like it's selfish reasons why he was pursuing politics, right? So he can get back like a diplomatic entrance into the US, right? So that's still a thing that some people say, some people don't, right? But Sean is a success story, right? For himself. He's a overwhelming whatever he was going through, right? But he's still around, right? He's still a supporter, right, of the opposition party, right? But yeah, right now Shine is still just an ambassador. I'm not sure if he has a official position still, right, in the country. But he lost the opposition position to a lady called Tracy Panton, right?
Twin supermarket. We have a twin supermarket. Yeah, because we ain't never get that. I'm going to go see what they got for the liquor, all right? Hold on, I ain't had a camera ready. Tell them again, Kyrie, about that. They don't bother you, right? Tell it again for the camera. I ain't had a camera record.
You don't want to be a target no matter where you go in the world.
Right?
But most people don't bother you, right? Most people don't bother you.
Yeah, so y'all heard that.
Most of the crime that you hear around is it's blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it's blown out of proportion. All that social media bullshit, don't go here, go there, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
But there is crime.
But there is crime.
There is crime, right?
Yeah, there is crime.
Make yourself a target, you know.
That's what a lot of people say. If you make yourself a target, then that's, you know.
Mostly what you have to worry about walking about Belize City, especially north side that we're in right now, is more people just asking you for, you know, like beggars. People ask you for a little help, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like being in New York.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So it's Belize is a small place, right? So it's no more violent than any violent place or any area in the US that's, you know, you hear about crime.
Yeah.
You find a lot of burglaries, right? Like not a lot, but you see all of the houses. Most of them, they have like bars on the houses, right? Different places more than others. They always have like neighborhood watch and different, you know, the police department. They do their regular patrols, but you can't catch everything, right?
Yeah.
Depends in those parts.
What areas are those?
So those are scattered all over, right? Mostly
out
on the south side, you know, but the communities, you never know because you never go in those communities. There's no reasons to go there because they're residential areas, right? As someone that's a tourist in Belize, right, you have no reason to go there.
You have no reason,
unless you go to visit somebody you know, right? And then you're good.
Then you're good because you know somebody.
Then you're good, correct. But otherwise, the places that you shouldn't go, there's no reason to go, and you're good.
Yeah.
Or not that you shouldn't go, but it's a hazard to go, you know, or a little risky.
So Belize is one of the safest countries in Central America.
So if you want, you could, if you start traveling them, How do you feel around Belize? Do you feel safe or do you feel not safe?
I feel back at home.
Yeah, you feel cool, right?
I feel back at home.
Pretty much normal. You can walk around and you're
good.
good.
I feel like I'm in Florida.
Yeah, you can walk around and you're good. Yeah, it's pretty much okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure Florida has some places that you don't really want to walk.
Yeah, right?
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
New York, same.
Yeah, but it's the same thing, right?
Same shit.
It's just smaller and more compact, but it's similar to those places.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm quite sure, you know what I'm saying, the locals will know who are not from around, but, you know, it's all about frequency, you know what I'm saying? See, you know, like you said, you ain't making no target, anybody making no noise, so.
But the more life get hard, the more, you know, it's, you're more prone to have a mugging or, you know, a burglary.
Yeah.
The more times get harder, right? So, you know, those times are getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
You might think about while we wait.
We're gonna go grab some food from this spot right here.
Admiral's Restaurant
and Bar.
A restaurant bar.
So we'll
That's mainly what I do, so we'll talk about that a lot.
Alright.
For the day. There's the two different freshwater sea and sea turtles. Marine mammals, dolphins and manatees.
Okay.
So what is this?
In Belize.
Is this a bay or is it like?
This is just the lagoon. This is the same waterfront.
Okay.
We just can't come around the entire front, you know. So we can't.
Okay.
City, but this is just the entire
Is
coastline.
it the same water that we came
Same
on
water. It's the same water.
on the ship?
Same lagoon on the ship. Yeah.
The one with this one's darker.
Sorry?
This one water is darker than the other.
We're pulling up to our hotel, I tell you. Shit, we wanted to do the casino. We might do the casino tonight. There's something to do.
Yeah.
At least we can walk around the parking lot and smoke our blunt. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't got no, if we got a balcony, then we good. Staying at the Grand Resort. Appreciate I had to act like I had to do it all over again. Nice little area over here. You can see the view over here. Alright, let's see what we working with. Perfect.
We came from an apartment and this is more perfect.
No, we didn't come from an apartment. We came from a dorm, a college dorm.
I mean, talking about before that. This is perfect.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
This is perfect.
And then you have window there where you have a view.
Okay, this is perfect. This is more what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. A beautiful view of the water.
And got the pool there.
You have the microwave that's working. You have the refrigerator that's working.
Oh yeah. It's more like it right here.
Alright, so let me help you. So this is the key.
See what our bathroom looks like. Okay, got a full-size stand-in, walk-in shower. Got the new school bowl. Full-size mirror. Okay, Belize Grand Resort.